Oh, my
Oh, one.
God.
All right.
I
So,
am. Are you?
It is 7 o'clock on September 17th, 2019, and we are going to open the Committee of Committees meeting. Can we take roll call, please?
yep, committee members Chris Samples,
Here.
John Talbot,
Here.
William Luxinger,
Here.
Dina Simpson. Here. Jen Christensen is absent. Jared Doan,
Here.
President Rick Worm,
Here.
Treasurer Brenda Onavani. Here. I, Clerk Sandy Moss, am here. We don't have an attorney or engineer. Public Works Supervisor Brett Berge.
Here.
I'll make a motion to approve the August 20th, 2019 Committee of the Committees meeting minutes.
Second.
Dina makes a motion to approve the August 20th, 2019 committee meeting minutes. Jared seconds. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion passes 7-0-2.
For those watching on video, there's a child in the audience.
You can see that chair in the video.
And we really
Barely.
enjoy it because it's delightful.
Is she public then?
Yes.
He is public.
He absolutely is.
So if he's annoying you, you can speak at the end.
Got you.
Our youngest citizen can,
Or raise your hand.
Mhm.
a trustee that they can stop.
Does anybody have any questions on the water usage report or fuel report?
Not,
No,
All right, then we will move
Who's,
forward.
who's updating the Excel file on that?
The front cover sheet on the fuel report,
Yeah,
I do.
oh, thank you, I appreciate that.
Oh, no problem.
It makes it nicer, you can see kind of how it flows, I
Yep,
appreciate it.
no, I figure I'm just gonna keep it as a rolling 12 months as
Oh,
we
that'd be
move
great.
forward.
Sorry, that's all I had.
All right, so the next three items
Girl.
are Glenda.
Oh, you need the mic, Glenda? That's
You have to
okay.
start over.
Okay, the first item is the resolution number 19R03, discussing the recommendations to put the framework in place for solar panels so that citizens do not have to apply for a special use permit, and so that our residents will be a little bit cheaper for them to bring their homes up to this little more modern technology. And, that would update, it would become a zoning ordinance, section 8-101. So, the zoning board, everybody was in favor of it, so it's now in your ballpark.
Anybody have any questions on it before we move it to next week?
I don't.
Thanks for handling that.
That was the same as the people who already had put it up, right? Almost the
That's, yes and no. They were the people that got us started on changing changing it into an ordinance so that special use permits were not required any longer.
We had a hearing on it, right? What
Yes,
percent-
we did.
That one.
what day was that? Well, a resident asked me about, in fact, he was saying that he was thinking about putting solar panels on his roof.
Okay.
He was investigating it and was kind of asking the requirements. I don't remember
So
them
now
all.
this just puts it down to a permit.
But this will be the ordinance that tells you the requirements for it.
That's correct.
Somebody could come pick it up once we pass it, and they'll know without a special use permit, they'll know what ordinance they have.
They will have to pay for a permit,
Right, a permit.
but not a
itself. There's no
special use.
inspection though, right? Is that,
There's
There's
Film
a whole
I
list.
thought that we.
There's just no
rules.
have
special
anybody
use
get up
permit,
on
which
the roof.
requires everything else.
So the inspection process in the ordinance, the building inspector will inspect the building itself, and the village engineer will inspect the plans from the solar company.
But nobody's getting up on the roof, right?
I don't know what Casper's inspection process
All right.
includes.
All right, just checking.
I would think
I
that
thought we discussed
Casper,
that, and we said there wouldn't be anybody getting up on the roof, but,
And he may not be, I don't know what
All
his
right.
inspection process.
and I'm gonna go the opposite way and assume that he will be, because he needs to know what the integrity of that roof is.
all right.
You know, he needs to know
I
whether
thought-
it's spongy or not. Spongy
Yeah.
means that you gotta
I just-
replace something.
I must
I
be
don't
getting
know.
senile, because I thought
We
discussed
really
that
don't
it
know
was
there.
too much of a liability to have them up on the roof. No?
Whose liability?
The village. I thought that was the reason why they didn't have them go up on the roof to inspect the solar panels.
Yeah, I
We
don't,
discussed it at one of the,
yeah, I
board
don't
meetings.
know. I don't know.
I don't know
what
either,
his inspection
to tell you the truth.
All right. But they'll be able to get that information once we pass all right, thank you.
Correct.
Then I'll tell them to come down and pick it up.
After next Tuesday.
Right, after we
Okay.
pass it, yeah.
The next thing that was discussed at the public hearing is 19R04, resolution recommending approval of a text amendment regarding cannabis business establishment. This is to put into effect, rules, being the state of Illinois has, updated some of their cannabis rulings. We needed the framework put in place for when things go into effect January 1st, and this is putting that framework into place and starting the ball rolling on that.
Can I ask a question on
And we have one other, thing that was brought up. We have, within this resolution, specifically named one of the parks within our village limits that no business regarding cannabis can be near. And we did that on purpose.
I included in your packet something that the planning and zoning got to see, which is a map. It's actually been updated to include the community park as an exempt area as well. So anything that's inside the red circles, cannabis businesses would not be allowed.
Yeah, that included residential housing, right?
It does, it
Right.
includes all the residential housing. So the
So you have this
the
swipe.
park is kind of a duplicate because the park is zoned residential anyway, but
Right.
it specifically lists the community park as one of the places that it can't be zoned in.
So why is the southwest and southeast corner of 251 and 72 in the restricted area?
Daycare.
I understand the northeast corner is, but why is the southwest and southeast?
This?
It's within 250 feet of the lot line, so it just has to be outside that bubble.
So why not just draw the line at the 250-foot mark and then make everything else?
That is
In
the
it.
200, so it's the per lot. So that is one lot, so it's 250 feet surrounding
So if
that
a
lot.
portion of that lot touches it, the whole lot is ineligible?
No,
No, but
No, it can't
whatever,
go-
whatever lot the daycare is on, it goes from those borders.
that
Not
solar?
Yeah.
Understood. But you're not gonna tell me Rolling Meadows is within 250 feet.
Residential.
it's residential.
It's
Okay,
residential.
So you're not gonna tell me that the village parcel on 72 is within 250
It's not.
It's not.
but it's within the red circle.
No, it's not.
The back end
Yes,
of
it
it is, so the building cannot be on the back end. They'd have to build on the front end.
Which,
Right where your mouse is. That's
this is not in the
That's not the
residential.
red circle.
Not at all. This
Oh,
part right
you're
here,
looking at south, okay, so south of the railroad tracks, why is that in there?
Those, that very little line there at the bottom.
That whole yellow portion?
Because that's residential, that's Panning Place.
painting place, it's all,
Okay.
It's unfortunately been zoned residential and a subdivision's been approved for there, so we have to keep it.
around the whole...
Because that bans it, and the goal wasn't to ban it, the goal was to limit it to areas where, commercial sales could be.
everything still remains a special use.
Yep.
So I have to ask a question, so, and I have to understand that, because I remember we had a conversation a while back about, like, if we go and put this on the consent agenda, and we have concerns about it being on that, we should let you guys know ahead of
It
time.
will not be on the consent agenda
It won't.
item, it's a separate item under Rick.
Okay.
Yep, you had already asked that, I made a note.
Did I?
Yep.
Okay.
You
Why
asked
do
a
I
couple
feel like-
weeks
okay.
ago.
And
Yep.
keep- And
So, like-
keep in mind, anybody that applies for this does have to apply
Go
for a
back to the-
special use
one.
permit, and it will require a public hearing, probably.
I saw that,
You know.
and I saw all the other, like, I'll say plans that they have to be.
It's pretty extensive.
This?
And
Where?
Who,
And you also have to remember, we have to apply with the state, and the
Oh,
state hasn't established hardly any rules yet.
Oh,
So
that's
then what-
JC's right, JC's right here.
I'm sorry, Glenda,
so when we go through those plans, like, all those, like, there was multiple listed, are we the ones that approve those plans, or are the state the ones that approve those?
The state will approve the plans and put forth the guidelines that then we have to follow, and then the businesses have to follow whatever we would to add to that, in addition to what the state requires.
Mhm.
And so then I'll probably too, like, just to clarify, so when we vote on this, if you vote yes on this, you're saying that you agree with the zoning pieces of it?
You are not agreeing to allow a cannabis business here, because those are still all special uses that have to be voted on
So that would still be a separate
You're just limited,
You
you'd
were-
just be voting on
You
where
are
it's
saying
limited.
that we are gonna allow cannabis businesses, but with these very restrictions, including the special use, which allows planning and zoning, and then you guys to add additional restrictions to whatever. So if somebody comes in and they're in an area that you are uncomfortable with, you can absolutely restrict it
So
there.
you're not approving any businesses, just the ability of where
Just
they
the
can
zoning
be.
for it.
Okay.
We also did not want to do a no band, because unfortunately, we need revenue.
And there is
You
a
know.
3% sales tax that we can put on
Mhm.
top of this, which you will also see coming up. So cannabis businesses are very lucrative in the tax industry.
Up to 3%?
It's 3% on top of the regular.
Is it?
It's a cannabis sales
It's
tax.
3% that just strictly goes to us.
But I mean, somebody else told me that, Rochelle was considering a 2.75%. I
Yes.
said, is it just up to 3%?
Yeah, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Alright, that's
And then
what I
you
was
can only
asking.
increase it in a certain amount after that.
Okay.
And we also
Okay.
have to keep competitive with any of our neighboring
Yeah.
villages and towns and cities.
Price yourself out of the market.
No. Nope. Well, right now, we haven't gotten to the sales tax part, first the
Right,
zoning.
Right, no, I got that. Well, it's
The
not
state
even like
still
we have
doesn't know what
anybody
they're
who
doing with
wants to come
half
here.
the stuff anyway.
Right, I'm sure they don't.
They're still trying to figure out a lot of it.
Yeah, planning and zoning had that discussion as well, that some of these things are still unknown in the state, but because it's special use, if something changes, planning and zoning can go back and discuss that again.
One of the ones we discussed was at the very end of the meeting was the, dispensaries, nor the, cultivators can transport it. So they have to have a company that will transport it for them. And those licenses aren't even determined yet how they're gonna be issued,
For medical or for just regular?
any of it.
Oh. 'Cause I
Well,
thought
their
they-
medical is,
I was
they've
gonna
already
say, I thought-
distributed it.
Haven't they
But
had?
for the recreational, both the sales and the growing, neither one of them can transport. So this is kind of a weird thing to look it up and to find out that it's actually, all that's still to be determined on the state's website. So they don't even know how they're getting it to and from yet.
But we wanted to make sure we started the framework for it.
Any questions before next week? All right, then we'll move on to the clerk.
Thank you.
Thanks, Linda.
Thank you, Glenda.
The FOIA report, I've had 2 FOIAs this past month, so those are in there. Do you guys have any questions? And then, several months ago, we had talked about the community sign, which is the sign in front of the fire station, and we had kind of put some guidelines down. And then in talking to Dan, he suggested that we adopt what is included in the packet as a draft resolution for the community sign policy, which essentially, put some guidelines down roughly that gives the authority back to this board so that we can go with the guidelines we'd previously created. And so that we have something in writing if somebody comes to us and says, I want it on there and you didn't put it on there, I can say, look, we have the authority to control what's on there. So unless there's any questions on that, that'll be in the board packet for next week too. That's all I had.
Brenda, you actually have something.
I do. This agreement is our EOC agreement that we have with the state of Illinois. We've fill it out every year, sign it. Standard agreement.
It gives us money back for the EOC training.
It gives us money back
We'll be
for the
doing
EOC training and any bills that we incur, like the phone lines that we have at the fire station for the EOC and any other items we may incur. So, and this is saying, because I have to tell them how much money we want every year, so this agreement says that they'll be giving that to us after Rick signs. What? That's it.
So we'll have the pre-drill next Tuesday? I don't know
Mhm.
what date it is in October. I thought I put it in my calendar. 29th?
I put it in mine too. It's the week after I get back from training.
But we'll actually have the, nuclear drill coming up in October then.
Yeah, it's the week, or 20th? It is the 24th.
I didn't put it in here.
Yeah, the regular drill's on October 24th.
Better now. Okay, so that'll be on next week. Committees, community development is not here. Finance,
Only thing I have that's not on the agenda is, the discussion for the next budget year tax levy was brought up. I just wanna know what the board's opinion is, and for the new members, this is the levy where we determine whether we're gonna just stick with the standard 5% increase, or if we're gonna go over 5%, and that requires a public hearing to notify the public that we're going to increase over the statutory requirement or statutory limit of the 5%, of the PTEL. So I'm of the opinion we just stick with the standard 5%.
Me too. Barring
Didn't we
other things
increase
happening.
it 4.9 last year?
It's actually 5%. We had to change it, last minute before you guys approved it at the 5%, because it's actually 5% or below, so we can go to 5% as the limit, 5.01%.
We are not maxed out on our PTEL, is my understanding.
No.
So that allows us to go to the 5%. If we were to go 5.01, we'd be required to hold a public hearing. But I'm of the opinion that we stick with the our normal 5% at this point, because I think there's things that are gonna come down in the near future, that it will supplement our revenue.
Out of curiosity, how much does our increasing 5% raise the tax on?
Brendan's ready.
That is excellent.
He's got it.
Excellent. I just wanted to know so that the community could know.
Extremely
When you
minimal.
say 5%, what amount of money you're actually talking about?
It would be $3,350.30 distributed amongst everybody.
Distributed amongst over
Plus
700
Your
parcels.
EOV of your house.
Right.
So
Equal.
it's extremely minimal.
So you won't know. You won't know the difference because the EAV has increased this past tax year. So in reality, the taxes on everybody's house could be lower, depending on how much the house is worth. You know, it could
Right.
go down,
So
it could go down a couple.
Since I've been on this board,
That would be a-
the board has
I
decided,
mean, it could go down a couple dollars. I'm not saying it would go
yeah.
down.
Well, it would be $3, basically speaking.
since I've been on this board, the board
Well, 4, all right.
wanted to increase property taxes to anticipate loss of revenue. However, due to current situations, I don't think that loss of revenue is gonna happen for a couple of decades. So I don't see the need to increase our property tax above the 5% at this point.
Which-
And there'll be more to come to the board.
Which actually, if you calculate it out, at 700 homes,
It's-
$3,300,
you're talking-
about $5 a piece.
You're talking dollars.
Yeah,
Yeah.
$5.
Dollars, yeah.
So, if the public wants to know,
It wouldn't be even
so-
$5.
we're possibly gonna raise your
Um,
city,
It would-
your village tax
So
by $5.
I directed Brenda and the clerk to, anticipate just the standard 5%, but we're gonna hold off for a few weeks, if not a month or two, before we bring it to the board,
All right.
so.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be passed until the second, I have to file it the second or third Tuesday in December, but, I prefer not to wait until December.
I agree. I just-
So,
I mean, at this point,
That's
it,
November we
at this point, my recommendation is the 5% in anticipation of other things coming down the pipeline, so.
And what we levy for is our insurance and our audit, and what we levy for the property tax doesn't cover our insurance and audit together, so it helps pay for.
It used to a long, long time.
no, it hasn't since I've been on this board.
Not anymore.
I thought originally it did. And
It
then
did.
hasn't.
Yeah,
Right.
but
It hasn't
Well, I'm
for a
sure
long
anybody,
time.
a long
I'm
time.
sure any resident that pays attention to their tax bill can see that the lowest probably the lowest entity charging them is the village.
It's
Yes.
actually not.
If,
It's not
if
really
they-
Pretty
low.
close.
It's pretty
It's
close.
pretty close,
Do you
but
have that, William?
they,
Oh,
but residents seem to forget that there's 10 taxing bodies, and they.
Well,
I do.
It all comes to
The school district.
We even had an accountant in there one day going off on us about his tax bill and asked him if he even realized what he paid us, and he'd never even looked at the bill.
Oh.
Came in here to yell at us.
Oh,
I had recently sent to, William a breakdown of what the taxes are on a tax bill based per 100,000.
oh, that'd be nice to know.
At some point, I am hopeful
Do you have
to get it.
I did have it. in a
hold on,
different
I
folder.
think I got it here.
I sent it to you on August 26th at 8:56 a.m. I don't have the attachment, but I have the email.
I got it. It's right here. So, of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 taxing bodies on a $100,000 valuation, obviously the school district is the most, Ogle County is the second, fire district's the third, Rock Valley College is the fourth, Julia Hall the fifth.
No, Scott Township is
It's
majorly
either
low.
one.
It's
The Village of Davis Junction is the seventh out of,
Really, who's the lowest?
out of eight.
out of the
Scott
lowest, is Scott Township.
Oh, all right.
That was Scott
So
Township.
what does it say per 100,000 for the village of
For
Davis
the,
Junction?
per 100,000 for the village, it is, $62.21.
All right.
So what's it jump up to for number 6 without saying what number 6 is?
$134,
Almost double. Well, double, more than double. Huh.
which, actually,
No,
that's where it's wrong.
yes, that's where,
Brown, Ogle County. Yeah, 62
yeah, that's,
out of the dark blue, Julia Hall, 134.
no, dark blue.
So,
Julia
okay,
Hall.
Scott
There
Township?
you go.
Yeah.
What?
Road
Oh, Scott
district.
Township
Yeah.
Road
Road
District.
district.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry.
are two
The cheapest is
townships
Scott
taxes.
Township. The one above us is Scott Township Road District
Yeah.
at 134.38,
And ours is?
62.21
Currently, as,
currently, $62.21
And next year
per
it'll be
$100,000.
yes. Basically speaking, it'd be $67 per $100,000.
Yes.
Yeah, I wouldn't even put it that high.
I wouldn't.
I wouldn't either.
Yeah.
'cause-
Let's be generous.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
well,
super generous.
here's the reality though.
Cause our EAV.
Even if we
is a lot.
increase it 5%,
Yeah.
with the building and construction that's going on, that, even if we were to increase it 5%, that's going to stabilize or reduce the individual assessed value per home,
Right.
because you disseminate the equalized assessed
Right,
value
you
amongst
have
more homes and properties.
6 or 8 houses that are gonna jump
Yes.
in and take a piece of
Correct.
the pie, it'll,
Yeah, so the more construction actually is beneficial
The better.
for the rest of the residents,
Breaks it up.
as long as we don't do dramatic increases. 5%
Oh.
is, what?
So the thing that I created for William, you guys will all see eventually, the goal is to put an article with it to kind of let our residents know, you know, this is kind of what you're paying, because we have a lot of residents who are under the misconception that they pay enough taxes to pay somebody's, wages in this village, and they don't.
Not even close.
So it's, the we'll round up $63 they pay a year is very minimal in comparison to the other entities. And so that's kind of why we created this, and there will be an article coming out later this year, kind of with this and explaining kind of where their taxes are going and what we as the village are doing with them.
So to bring this back full circle, my recommendation to Brenda and the clerk will be just the standard 5% increase for the tax levy, which you will see in the next probably 1 or 2 months. So,
Sounds good, right, John?
Sounds good.
anything further?
no,
Ordinance enforcement,
Nothing.
parks,
Excuse me, I had a gentleman call me who would like the board, I guess that we can just go around the room and see what anybody thinks rather than having a long discussion. He'd like to see a ban. His first request was to have a ban from smoking during events. Evidently, there's some events with younger children where there was people smoking, which was offensive to not only the younger participants, but to some of the adults as well. So there was 2 requests. One was to possibly consider a smoking on ban during sporting events, during school events that are in the park.
before
then
you go
ultimate-
further, there's a ban in smoking in all parks.
No,
Yeah.
there's not.
Not in our park.
The ordinance is
What
in
was
your
it that I
packet.
just read?
It's right here on this.
We don't currently have an ordinance.
I'm pretty sure it's state law, you can't smoke on government property.
National parks.
It's state law. You can't
I
smoke on
don't
government
know
property.
It is a city ordinance in Rockford that you can't smoke in their parks, but not statewide. It might be federal-wide, but not state.
National parks, you can smoke.
Sure, it's not federal.
And then the second consideration was just an overall smoking ban. So,
I'm for it. I'm still to the belief that there is a state law that you can't smoke on government property.
I'm for it.
And if there's not, I would support banning
If
it.
buildings and vehicles used by the general public be used as a place of employment or owned by the government.
I would, agree with the full smoking.
Probably the Smoke-Free Illinois Act.
Yeah, but it's referring to ban smoking inside buildings and vehicles used by the general public or used as a place of employment or owned by a government entity.
Yeah, 'cause that's the first year you can't smoke in the car with it.
The Smoke-Free Illinois Act prohibits smoking in virtually all public places and workplaces.
Is there a way we could maybe spend a little
Yeah,
bit
the-
for an opinion or
Not,
ordinance?
yeah. So do you
If we're in
want,
agreement to, everyone's in agreement to
I
no
don't know,
smoking ban, full?
what, should we?
We should.
Four ten ILCS 82 is a
Yep.
comprehensive anti-smoking law that took effect in Illinois in January 1st, 2008, and banned smoking inside most buildings and vehicles used by general public, used as a place of public employment or owned by the government or public body.
Yeah,
So
it's
any
a-
park is owned by the government.
it's a building or
Building or-
public or
I
vehicle.
would disagree.
Well, let's
Well, it
let's
might
take
be a
out the
moot point.
ambiguity to it and just ban it in Davis
Agreed.
Junction Park.
Make it happen.
Is that something we could visit with the attorney with Rick? Permission to do
As
that?
long as the board wants it.
I'm good with
Absolutely.
that.
Fine with that.
We just
You
banned
know.
it.
It comes back to the historical, we got no way to enforce it, but I'm
Or
still-
would,
But I
basically,
think there is no way to enforce it, but I'd prefer to ban it
I agree.
than not.
so
totally
basically,
agree.
I guess maybe just tell council we wanna ban smoking in the park and
I
hopefully
think
they
Glenda
won't
has a
have a.
comment as well.
This is one public person, resident, who is against that, okay? I don't believe you should do that.
Ban it or
No,
smoke?
I do not believe that.
As a resident, I
If you
agree
don't
with
wanna have your kids near the smoke, ask the smoker to please move.
But then if you don't ban it, then there's no regulatory statute that says they can't do it where they're at.
That's correct. I pay taxes on that park. I should be able to smoke wherever I want. However, I did quit, but I still feel that way.
But
So
then
you
on the
pay
cannabis,
federal
and the
taxes,
cannabis,
so
All right.
you feel like.
I would disagree that
smoke
somebody can
federal?
smoke near the
right.
place with
Too many
children.
people talking.
I always was
We have
courteous
direction
and
on
made
them.
sure I,
And you
in the
are.
back,
And
okay?
you
You
are,
are.
but some
And
people
I,
aren't.
you know, I know that,
and some
but
people aren't.
it's still, I have a problem with that whole thing.
Well, I don't really like the government telling me what to do either. I totally agree with that, but in this case, you know, how do you first, and this is just me, and I could care less if you smoke next to me or 5 feet away from me. If I don't like it, I'll move. But the truth of the matter is, if I got kids, I don't want somebody standing in the middle of kids smoking a cigar or whatever, or even a cigarette, and, you know, in the middle of a bunch of kids and them have to breathe it in. I think that most people would have common courtesy not to do it, but not everybody. So, I would be in for a ban. I don't like to tell people what to do, don't get me wrong at all. That's the case, I don't like to be told what to do. But in this case, I would be for a ban because there's too many kids in the park.
Can I ask a question too? Like, so on this, and I don't wanna, like, I know they're two different things, but if we're addressing it, like, in the cannabis thing that we read just a little bit ago, that bans it in all the park areas, correct?
That bans the sales of it in all the park areas. Cannabis is already by law from the state of Illinois prohibited to be smoked in any public place, including in your own driveway. You literally, the only place to smoke cannabis is inside an enclosed structure, and so the park is already prohibited from cannabis by that alone. Oh, the clerks had to listen to a 3-hour seminar on this Cannabis Act. Are we prohibiting it in all parks? Because
Yes.
there's more than just a community park. There's Davis Park and the 10-acre park.
Well, that would be my consensus. If we do it in one, why not in all of them?
Yep.
Across the
There's
board.
no,
Are the
Not only
sporting
park,
events just
any
carried
village-owned
as park?
property,
Huh?
there's
All village-owned property would be mine.
correct,
on all village-owned
Yes.
property?
absolutely.
Okay, I have
I mean,
another
there
question.
really
Go
aren't
ahead.
many places you can smoke anymore, to tell you the truth.
Agreed.
Go ahead, Glenda.
So we're moving forward.
How are you gonna enforce it? You can't
Can't.
enforce the motorbike rule, you can't enforce the,
Be one more.
Some
whatever
people will
those other
respect the
things are
rule.
Be
called.
one, be an additional.
How are you
one
gonna
if we don't
enforce it? Who are you gonna get to enforce it?
We're gonna put
Same
some
way we
pretty
enforce
signs up.
Be another one of our unenforceable ones.
But you can't enforce it, that's the
You
truth,
can't.
unless you're gonna have the police come out, or we're gonna actually have police here that could, in which case, I'm sure they wouldn't make it a high priority anyway. It's just a matter, it's really more advisory than anything, you know, just ask people not to smoke, and then somebody could say, hey, it's banned, or whatever.
We'll put up signs to such effect.
That's
I would-
all I have.
I would hope most people had courtesy.
Streets and ditches.
Oh, well, let's go for an update on the roads. They finally tore up Frosty Morning, took Ward out, and maybe Thursday or Friday, then they'll put the shoulders in, the concrete shoulders. I keep wanting to call them curbs, I don't know why, but they're whatever. And then I would hope it progresses quickly after that. There's still some issues, some shoulders that need to replace on Red Fox. They did, seeding behind, in the ditch behind. What,
Golden Prairie?
Yeah.
Or,
it's
Prairie
Frosty
Lily?
Morning or Prairie Lily, you
Prairie
could take your
Lily,
choice.
yeah.
Yeah, they did the seeding and covered
Okay.
it. Are they watering, or are we, who waters that? Nobody? Just grows on its own?
That, I don't believe the contract goes
Like we
on
haven't
watering.
had, like we haven't had enough water,
Yeah.
period.
We don't have a way to get back there and water it.
Yeah, I wouldn't figure you would. Well,
Right.
maybe the residents will take it upon themselves to water the area and help the grass grow. It's gonna
Yes.
be their yard.
We did
Correct.
have a few call about that particular section of the project, so that's plenty.
All right.
Glad to hear that.
Did they, do the sodding on, Harvest Glen?
No, not yet.
No?
Not that I know of any. I didn't make it by there, but they might have. I'll check in the morning, but we still gotta cut a piece of that concrete out of there, so.
Mike from Willett Hoffman, asked Martin for a schedule, but I haven't seen a reply on the schedule
No.
for the rest of the construction, but we're hoping that we can get it done as quickly as possible, but, we hope no more than 30 days.
Correct.
That was from a few days ago, so.
Correct.
October 11th, maybe?
The 11th is when that took effect.
All right. Hopefully they'll be done before then, or at least the Frosty Morning and Red Fox will be paved by then, but we'll see. I don't know, you got anything else?
I don't think so.
What was the other thing?
Rolling Meadows?
Oh, what's the discussion on,
I
that's
think-
right,
In the past, there's a map, can you please?
this is on what Davis Junction owns in Rolling Meadow and what
I don't know.
Hawk Homes, is it Hawk, right?
Yeah, I don't know if everybody's up to date.
Yeah, well, if Rick can bring up the,
Yeah, he's
then we could see.
There you go. Can you zoom out a little bit, please?
Here, you might wanna
There you go.
explain what's ours and what's theirs.
So, a couple of years ago, working with Jason on updating our MFT maps for the motor fuel tax maps with the state of Illinois, we came across Rolling Meadows Road, and then, we were struggling to find the ownership of the entire road, and we, after doing some work with the county and the state and Willett Hoffman, we were able to determine that what is in the completed circle in there is, still owned by Hawk Homes. When the road was dedicated to the municipality, that circle was an exception and has followed the ownership of the rest of the land. So we own everything in the red circle, but everything in the completed red circle is owned by Hawk Homes.
Are you saying solid
Yeah.
red circle?
Yeah, the solid
red
Hawk
is Hawk.
Homes.
Yes, that's Hawk Homes, and then we own everything in the outer red circle.
And how long have we owned that for?
Since the 70s?
All right. We just didn't know we
Really?
owned it.
Yes, we were transferred the property in mid to late 70s. The document was never recorded properly, so we had to get that taken. It's been a mess that Jason and I were working on for a long time. And then Jason, towards the end, said he would leave this project for Chris.
Hey, thanks.
Because I'd say on GIS, it
What-
doesn't show any ownership of that.
Sandy's got a
It-
letter
it's-
draft
I've had to
for you.
work with them.
What's left, by the way?
It doesn't show two properties either.
What oh, it doesn't. So, the recorded documents are what show that. That's why I said it's been a cluster trying to figure out what's going on with it. So, I guess you guys need to decide what you're doing with that inner circle.
What do you mean?
Can I give a suggestion?
Oh, please do, 'cause I
I
have no
got, I
idea
got
what
two
you're talking about.
suggestions. One, I would first get a hold of the fire district and see how many accidents there's been with that circle. And two, if it is a significant problem, I wouldn't do anything unless Hawk Holmes is gonna donate that circle
You.
to the village.
Well, I'm sorry.
If it's not a problem,
Mike-
there's no reason to fix it.
Hold on, I'm confused. I thought you told me the solid red circle is Hawk Holmes.
It is.
This.
It is,
Well, then what's the difference if we already own the rest?
because the reasoning, my belief is the intent of this this portrayal is that the roundabout is the concern, and that either it needs to be converted to a T intersection or a legitimate roundabout. That's my guess.
But-
It's not a legal
What?
roundabout, and there are actually 2 stop signs that I didn't mark
There's
on
no,
there.
because I've been out there, and when cars come in from the bottom left, which is 251, they go to the left instead of going to the right,
Mm-hmm.
Because
because there's no definitive direction there
Well-
or enforcement.
the other 2 sections
So
are
I should
actually
get out there with a
stop
white thing and-
intersections.
You could.
Some arrows. Can you take care of that? Just kidding. I'm kidding.
But the
So-
legal road is to the left. The other 2 ones have stop signs, so that those are intersections on the other 2 sides, whereas the road curves to the left.
Yeah, this, and this.
Oh, what?
So,
This is Village Road,
yep,
this is Village Road.
yep,
This is Village, so the road comes in and goes this way.
yeah.
This is an intersecting driveway, so to speak,
Yeah,
and so is this.
all right.
So unless there's a significant problem that requires us to intervene, I'm not entitled to do much of anything because I'm not aware of any.
I'm sorry, I just thought we were discussing whether or not we owned it, but you
Oh,
seem
no,
to.
we
what-
know the answer
Oh,
now.
right,
Now
all
we need
right.
to decide what are we
Well,
doing.
right, and it needs to be
Stop it.
recorded properly. Now, if
I like your
there,
answer. Move on.
if there's no problem, there's nothing to do.
Yeah, I mean, nobody's complaining.
Is there an
about anything,
issue?
right?
Is there a ton of accidents or
No,
something?
you guys just need to make that decision. I am not of the authority to make that decision. You guys have to tell me,
Moving on.
now that
Well,
we have.
I'm fine
As
with the way it
streets
is.
trustee, what do you wanna do?
Unless we have, concerns brought to us by citizens of the, residents of the.
There is a speeding issue, I'll promise you that.
Well, there's gonna be
I promise that.
you know what, there's a speeding
There's one
issue
over there,
right here
too.
on Junction
Absolutely
Road.
correct.
Exactly.
I listened to the lady
A
tell me
nice-
that people blow the stop sign, I
A
can't do
nice
anything
speed
about
hump
that.
on all 3 sides would be perfect.
Oh, we have
No.
some of those.
No.
No,
No.
no.
So, my thought process was.
To go on record, no.
Make it a T intersection,
No.
and then vacate
No.
the rest of the lane
No.
back to Hawk.
I'm not willing
No.
to put the money into it unless
No.
Will Hoffman wants to front that construction fee.
No,
Or not Will Hoffman, Hawk
Hawk
Holmes.
Holmes.
yeah, they wanna
No.
pay, that's fine,
No,
but
I don't even know that Hawk Holmes knows that if they own, because they don't own the entire structure.
Either one of them.
No, I see no point in making it, I mean, maybe if in the future we need to replace it because it's village-owned street and we need to do maintenance and replace it, then we can turn it into a T, but I see no point in doing it now. You know, if the residents of the park, or how do we wanna put that?
Rolling
Of Rolling, thank you, of Rolling Meadows wants to, voice concerns, then they should come down and voice concerns, but nobody's ever mentioned an issue to me.
Nope. So the other portion of this conversation is so that now there is a record.
That's good, though. I mean,
I'm okay with
yeah.
it.
Because the amount of research to find this home has been
That's good.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
And unless
I mean,
Hawk Holmes
is that
will
street
donate
in
it
that
and
bad a
fund
shape?
a portion of it, I'm not.
It's not horrible. It is, the only issue is,
I don't get this, didn't we put in the other road and fix that?
We put from the top part.
Yeah, all
To
the
the
way back,
treatment
right?
yeah,
Yeah.
this gets
We
Mike
did that.
Road this year.
Oh, does it?
Yeah,
Oh.
this is on our contract for Mike.
Then we're good.
Yeah, it's a brand new
Yeah.
street. No, I'm joking. It's not
Okay.
a brand new street.
I know.
No,
But it's good.
the only issue, if you wanna call it an issue, is the section of the street that's kind of up to the top right there. That is very narrow. That's not really meant for 2 cars to go, not that they ever would, but to go, pass each other. That's a narrow section right there, but like I said, we don't ever have any issues. It's not like there's a lot of traffic going down around that at any given moment, but that is not really wide enough for 2 vehicles to make that radius. So, but other than that, no, it's pretty simple to plow. We pile all the snow in the middle or in the one, ditch area over there, which come to find out is our property. So, maintenance-wise, it's not horrible.
All right.
We rode stone around it.
Nice picture.
Did you wanna add?
Where is the bus pickup for the school
That's a good question.
kids?
No
It's
idea.
actually to the right on the lower portion.
All right, then you guys need to get connected to the Rolling Meadows Facebook site. There are complaints about this intersection.
Are there?
Yes.
Could
And see,
you,
I am on that site.
could you share those with Chris later?
Yeah.
I'll have to find them,
Okay.
'cause it's been a while. They're complaining about people speeding, about people
Well,
not,
that,
you know, well, and people not,
That's a different.
not staying in the right lanes, about the school kids walking down the middle of the street and not moving, and, a few other things like that.
could we mark that? I mean,
I can look it up
I don't
and
know,
see what, if I
Well,
can find it.
we already have a walking path up and down the main,
Yeah.
Yeah, and they
There-
don't use it.
So here's,
I don't know how we
When the
police
bus-
that,
when the
so,
bus pulls in,
Yeah.
when the bus pulls in to the right, traffic to the left continues.
yeah, they don't block the
They don't
main,
stop traffic.
no, they don't stop traffic.
So
Here's-
traffic
here's
on the
my
left
concern.
continues.
If we're gonna enforce this, whatever that is, that
Not
is the village's
circle?
road,
we're not
and what
enforcing
is
anything.
our right of way,
We don't have.
you have a home within 3 feet,
Yeah.
and it doesn't meet the zoning
You-
setback requirement.
You can't see it on the upper right-hand corner where all those trees are. You're literally about 3 feet from
And
somebody's
that
house.
violates our setback requirement for zoning.
You could probably see it there because their trees doesn't have any leaves in that.
So,
photo,
I mean,
but
if
there's-
we're gonna go in there and
Been
say that
springtime.
they gotta fix the road, or we're gonna fix the road, we're gonna pull the
This one?
home out?
Yeah, yeah.
I don't see that happening.
What?
According to that map, that first home there,
Yeah.
our property line comes through where the trees are. Where you, if you can see the, it's winter,
Yeah,
it's
no, I
winter,
gotcha.
so the setback off of the easement is not sufficient.
So,
The road right away.
Let's have them move
in
their house
actuality,
back.
this is the piece you're saying is not wide enough for 2 cars.
Yeah.
It's, yeah,
And
I,
these are barely wide enough for 2 cars.
Yes.
no, that's wide enough for 2 cars, and that radius
If you were
right there
gonna
at the
do
top.
anything to it, you just remove this section here.
And make it a Y intersection?
Yes.
I wouldn't do it.
If,
It's not
Unless
quite-
Hawk Homes is willing to donate the land and pay for part of the changeover
Well,
to a T intersection,
nobody's asked that Hawk Homes at this point. This is just a conversation on what are you guys even interested in? One, making me a record so that the next clerk behind me can, in 10 years, when nobody knows where this circle is, can search for it.
Yeah, but, you know, you're right, if the middle belonged to Hawk, you couldn't make it a T. So
Right.
that would be
Yeah.
an issue.
I'm not willing to pay for it.
Yeah,
And I don't know that we would have to,
I
because
don't think
know that
that's a
he,
necessity.
I don't know that he realizes the setback issue on that home, and that switching it to a T would allow that setback to come back to normal
And
where
it's
it would
been
be.
many, many years.
There are benefits to that.
It's been many years since I've been in the fire department, but I don't ever recall ever going out there for a car accident there. So I don't foresee it being a problem, unless it's happened in the past 5 years that there's been a significant increase.
I doubt it's an issue. Just be nice to have all the legalities of the property and the ownership figured out.
Well, if we're gonna
I think we figured it out.
microsurface this year, I don't wanna change anything until it becomes, a
It'll
problem.
come down to we'll do something with it when it needs work.
Yes,
Well,
that's exactly what,
so-
when it does, we will, and then we can come in
The other part
and
of
fix
this
it.
is we are currently in negotiations with Hawk Homes on some other
Yeah,
issues.
no, yeah, we did
And
that.
so
a couple
if
of
we're
years
gonna
ago.
do anything with it, now's the time to toss it in.
Well, if you wanna ask them if they wanna donate the land, then feel free.
I'm sure that
And then
when-
then in the future, when it does come that we need to repair it, then we'll have the land
have the
and we can
land.
make,
Right.
we can make the repair.
If nobody's opposed to that, the next time that Dan has a
What's that?
conversation with their attorney, I'll just ask him to ask
Well, do
that.
we have to mow the
I wouldn't
part
even
that's
bring it up.
already ours?
No,
Cause it's not a whole lot more.
no,
I
Who
wouldn't
mows
even bring
it?
it up at this point.
they do.
Ah.
We don't do any
Until we
maintenance
get in
besides,
there, if
street
they're working
maintenance,
with
plowing,
somebody,
stuff like that.
Well,
We don't
that's-
mow anything up there.
If we.
wastewater's
do
it.
anything, it would be in conjunction with that.
Well, if they gave it to us, then maybe
That's-
it would be our
If
responsibility.
this were
Then,
moving
yeah, it absolutely
forward
would be.
somewhere, I would,
Well, we
Yeah,
must,
I think that
we
would
must
be
mow
possible at this
somewhere
point.
around there
If
anyway.
there was a room
because
full
The
of
wastewater plant,
Yeah.
that's it.
issues and complaints.
That wouldn't be an issue for you, would it?
Okay, I will
If they
just-
donated that land, mowing it, right?
We just have to road up there and mow it, so,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, all right.
Yep.
10 minutes,
This
Yep.
side of the table, so just leave it as is for right now.
all right. Well, you know, if they wanna donate the land, I'm good with that, and in the future, it would be easier to fix.
I will make detailed records for the next person behind me.
Anything further?
No, that's good for me, I'm done.
Utilities?
Before, I believe there'll be a discussion on well one, and the roof repair, but, I wanted to just remind everybody, so if they didn't see it, Sandy, did everybody get this, article on the board?
I did.
Okay.
It's on everybody's Facebook page and the
Awesome.
website.
Okay, so like, make sure that
And the website.
you can find it. Make sure that everybody is gonna go out there and read that. So the first of a 3-series article, release started today. So it talks about the water rate increase. The next one will be the, wastewater. And then the following one will be basically the wrap of it all, and then the idea of what it would look like as a tiered system if we were to do the rate increase at that point. And so it also asks for feedback from the community, so make sure, please, everybody that's reading that, gives a little bit of a I guess a backstory is the best way to say, of where we've come from in terms of what we've relied on for the, landfill to subsidize the whole water system that we've had for years, and, where we're at in terms of what we're talking about with rates and the rate study that was done by Willett Hoffman. So please familiarize yourself with it, because the third article, I believe it is, I know the first article has, my number on it directly, and, welcoming people to Village Hall, but, for any of the meetings, but I believe the last one has everybody's on it as well.
The third article has everybody's name and number, and the rail article has everybody's name and number.
Correct.
Because the rail article is a combination of
Yeah.
all
The real-
three.
And so,
the
like-
bulk of the rail is gonna be this article.
Yeah.
And so the majority of, like, so obviously, feel free to discuss it with anybody that calls or asks or whatever, that's just fine. But at the same time, to encourage people to come and give feedback here as well. Like, so Sandy put it out there, and one of the first, like, I wanna say text back, if you will, or messages back, yeah. Was not what I expected, which was interesting. It was a person that was thinking that, you know what, just put the rate where it should be. Like, and I was really kind of surprised by that, 'cause, you know, I still am very, I still believe that we should do it in a tiered system. That's what I believe. And I'll be very honest, that's probably what I'll recommend as well. But, and hopefully everybody's looking at that, the information that Matt shared with us and that Brett and I worked together on. So familiarize, because it's not gonna be off the topics for a while, so.
Yep, it comes out every Tuesday.
Every
for the next
Tuesday.
3
Mhm.
weeks.
And it does look lovely, by the
Go
way.
to Davis Junction.
You did a
or
great
the
job
Davis
on it.
Junction website.
You guys put a lot of work into that.
Yeah, it looks
emailed
fabulous.
me.
We only edited a few things as far as what we thought about, like, and it is extremely factual about where we've been.
I think it's a fantastic piece. My only suggestion is that the village needs to make a determination, the board does, as to what portion of the village finances are we subsidizing? Because obviously, we are subsidizing with tipping fees the overall annual budget. Are we subsidizing the water, sewer, or the general fund? Because, well,
Since
Well,
you're
we should, the only thing,
paying 75%.
in past we were going to pay for out of the general fund was the bond, the 2% revolving fund loan payment. That was the only thing in the past we were gonna pay.
the
We could never
village
get-
have.
We could never get the rates up to where we
The
need them.
residents have to deal with the landfill, the site, the odors, everything that goes along with it, and they should be compensated in a roundabout way for having that within our village limits. And from my belief, currently it is that we are subsidizing property taxes in the general fund. So if that's the case, then yeah, we need to bring up the water and/or sewer to where they need to be while we continue to subsidize what we believe to be extremely low property taxes. Or we need to reverse that and subsidize water and sewer and bring up property tax. Because we can't do all.
Well,
But it is a fantastic piece of material.
the second article that's gonna come out, talks about the loan, and it talks about Willett Hoffman's recommendation to, to not bring the rate up enough to have to cover that loan, but only bring the rate up enough to cover the operating costs, and that the landfill will still subsidize that loan and still pay for that. So that's the second piece that comes out next Tuesday.
That was always, again, that was always the long-term goal, was that the general fund would cover the loan and that we'd bring the water and
The
sewer
loan,
rates up.
we had two at the time.
Yeah, now we only have
We only have one,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah,
Right.
we're down to one.
We had two.
It should, well, on the IEP revolving fund, there should only been one.
There was
No,
only-
but there was
only
a-
one IEP.
No,
Yeah,
there
but
was
we
a bond,
we
and
had
then
a bond
there's
and a
a
loan.
Yeah,
The bond paid off the bond early.
Right.
But we still,
Yeah,
The bond was the
the
USDA.
beginning of the
Yeah.
infrastructure.
But it
That was before any of our times.
That was-
Yeah, but the
That was a
second one
major
does come out next Tuesday. A compilation of all three will be in the rail.
It was the most concise way to share the facts that we have been dealing with for years and put it in a format that the community can involve if they choose to.
Will you remind me after the meeting, and I'll grab you the copy?
Absolutely, thank you.
I forgot.
And then I believe something about well one.
Yeah, you'll see there's a few quotes. Well, one, the roof, we've got some issues up there, a couple small leaks, some maintenance work that's got to be done on the roof there. We have a couple of quotes here, 3 of them, I believe. I'm going to review a few things with Weaver, yet this week. Probably be going with the lowest, the 2450, but,
Bless you.
Thank you.
don't be surprised if, like I said, I'm not sure if we're gonna go with the larger one or not. That is quite a bit more work, but we're being told by a couple of the contractors that some of it is not necessary, so we're gonna review a few things and then, we'll come back with the actual one.
Those quotes don't say anywhere that it's prevailing wage, are they? I don't recall.
I'm not sure if it is or not.
Might wanna check on that too, 'cause if they're not, then that.
we have?
I don't know.
Should we do that?
Prevailing wage is at $0.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'm not sure that's a
competitive-
trade.
Competitive bidding
Seriously,
is
roofing?
20.
I don't think it is.
All right, I don't know.
I'm not sure.
I'm not,
Double
We'll
check,
talk
we can,
tomorrow.
yeah, we can
We'll
always
double
read, like I
check
said,
in the morning.
it's
We have a
not-
list of
Yeah,
contractors that
Right.
fall under prevailing
Yeah.
wage.
All right.
So
It's in
we'll-
an ordinance.
yeah.
Yeah.
The thing is,
well,
most of
Actually,
these,
to be honest, it'll be under laborers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we have a breakdown.
and most of these contractors, these big roofer, if it is, they know about it because typically,
So here's what we do, when we sign it, if it doesn't say prevailing wage anywhere on there, I actually write on there that this is understanding that this is prevailing wage
All right.
before we send it back.
All right.
That's what
Yeah.
I was taught to do to make sure that we cover ourselves.
I remember the one that we had an issue with
Yeah.
the underground to the wiring for the,
Yes.
Yeah.
right, it was double the price.
Yes.
Yeah.
So anyway, like I said, I don't wanna scare anybody with the $11,000, $12,000 one, because like I said, the other ones are kinda saying that some of that is not necessarily necessary, but, we're gonna review a few things, climb up there, take a look at a few other things, so we'll get back to you with more on that. But just so you know, we do have to do some repairs up there.
Are you hoping to have something in the packet for next week?
Yes,
Okay, so can they expect to see something for approval in the packet next week?
yes,
Okay. I'll
Just can't
probably-
tell you
Do
which one
we
yet.
have any
Yeah.
working relationships with these companies in the past?
I have no, I doubt it, I'm not sure.
Roofing.
We don't, we've never really done any roof repairs since I've been here, so I don't know about before me.
Dina,
Yeah.
I will probably stick it under you for approval separate from the consent agenda since we don't know who the roofer is this week.
That's fine,
All right.
thanks.
Anything further?
I do not, sorry.
Anything on unfinished business?
Yeah, the mosquitoes are really bad.
Yeah, we've had a request for that. I had to tell a resident that unfortunately we are not spraying the remainder of this year.
Yeah, they're still bad.
They are horrible.
Yeah.
It's my observation.
There is unfortunately nothing we can do about that.
Happens when you do things right.
Yep, yeah, when you do things right, sometimes there's a little hiccup.
Yeah. Public? Where'd she go?
Gone.
What?
Mom, you come pick
Oh.
her up.
That was like stealth
I didn't
mode.
I
even
missed
see
it.
her.
I didn't either.
Completely
It was
missed
like
it.
a stealth
I noticed
mode.
William stopped making faces, so that was,
He was better behaved, so, yeah.
Linda, do you have anything? Is you're the only one here for public?
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Richard makes a motion to adjourn, John seconds. Any discussion?
And we're off.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign.
I will not be here next week, I'll be working.
Okay,
I'm gonna send you an email right now.
thank you.
We are adjourned at 7:56.